Imagine an entire town reduced to rubble, its streets transformed into treacherous rivers, and its people left traumatized and desperate for help. This is the grim reality in Black River, Jamaica, after Hurricane Melissa, one of the most powerful Atlantic storms on record, unleashed its fury. But here's where it gets even more devastating. The scale of destruction is so immense that residents are left asking, how do you even begin to rebuild all this? Reaching Black River, a coastal town in the southwestern parish of St. Elizabeth, is no easy feat. The journey is a perilous obstacle course of uprooted trees, collapsed lampposts, landslide debris, and miles of thick, slippery silt from severe flooding. Yet, the most heart-wrenching sight is the waterlogged communities that have been transformed into rivers overnight. The chaos was palpable on Thursday, with vehicles stranded in floodwaters and police and army personnel struggling to manage the slow-moving traffic. Along the way, the sheer scale of destruction is staggering: buildings gutted, homes packed with debris, and roofs torn apart as if by a giant's hand. As you approach Black River, dubbed the Ground Zero of the Category 5 hurricane's impact, the devastation becomes even more apparent. Nearly every house and building has lost its roof, and the town center lies in ruins, resembling a war zone. Amid the crumpled structures and streets littered with zinc sheets and hazardous debris are the people, traumatized, bewildered, and grieving. Families with children seeking shelter in bus stops and others scavenging for food paint a grim picture of an unfolding humanitarian crisis. And this is the part most people miss. Some survivors had traveled to Black River from nearby devastated areas, hoping for aid, only to find themselves in a scene of equal despair. Beverly Stevens, who weathered the storm with her son and elderly, immobile mother, pleaded through tears, "Tell the world that Jamaica needs help." She recounted how she and her son spent 3 agonizing hours holding down a door that the wind seemed determined to rip away. The storm's death toll, currently estimated at 50 across Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, and the Dominican Republic, is expected to rise as communication networks remain largely down, delaying a full assessment of the damage. Hurricane Melissa tied a 1935 record for the most intense Atlantic storm ever to make landfall, according to the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. In Black River, one woman was seen heading to the police station to report a death, while another choked back tears as she described losing everything. Annette Royal, visiting from Westmoreland, summed it up starkly: the country mash-up. We need food, water, shelter, everything to survive. Here's where it gets controversial. Aston McCarthy, a religious education teacher, estimated it would take billions upon billions to rebuild, pointing to a demolished parish church as a symbol of centuries of history erased in a single day. How do you rebuild all of this, he asked. Nobody in Jamaica has ever seen anything like it. Yet, some argue that with proper international aid and climate resilience strategies, recovery is possible. What do you think? Can Jamaica rebuild, or is this a sign of a deeper, irreversible crisis? In nearby Treasure Beach, another tourism hub, residents were equally stunned by Melissa's unprecedented power. An entire beachfront restaurant was swept away, leaving no trace, and even tombs were displaced. Alan Daly, a 67-year-old fisherman, described the storm as the worst he'd ever experienced, stronger even than Hurricane Gilbert. "The foundation of my concrete house was moving," he said, his voice trembling. Owen Clark, a hotel owner facing his second consecutive year of rebuilding after Hurricane Beryl struck last summer, called for more support for hurricane-affected businesses. "We need materials: zinc, cement, steel, nails, and electricity," he said. Tourists like Sri Sudevi and her daughter Rachel Diamond, who had fled their accommodation for higher ground, praised the resilience of Treasure Beach's community. "If I have to be anywhere during a hurricane, it's here," Diamond said, recalling how locals looked out for one another. Amid the chaos, glimmers of hope emerged. Candace Dreeden, a local chef, led a World Food Kitchen operation, providing hot meals and water to those without power or running water. "A warm plate of food reminds people they are still home," she said. Meanwhile, Teresa Rodriguez Moody, CEO of the Jamaica Environment Trust, pointed to Melissa's strength and slow movement as clear signs of climate change. But here's the real question: if global emissions aren't drastically reduced, will these catastrophic events become the new normal for the Caribbean? As night fell over St. Elizabeth, heavy-duty military vehicles loaded with mattresses and supplies navigated the treacherous roads, offering a glimmer of hope to those reeling from Melissa's aftermath. But the road to recovery is long, and the world must decide, will we stand by Jamaica, or leave it to face this crisis alone?